My name is Teresa. I'm the owner and artisan at NTS Design Co. I am a content creator for Dixie Paint Company. I come live with you guys every Wednesday morning to do some fun painting tutorials. Today, we're gonna learn all things top coat. I'm going to show you how to do a beautiful finish on top of your paint to make sure sealed and protect all of your hard work does not go to waste. So, as you guys are popping on, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. I'd be more than happy to answer any paint related questions that you may have about Dixie Belle Paint. All of the products that I will be using on their website. We will be using the clear coat satin, and then I will be using a flat large brush to seal it. If you are wondering this process of this piece of furniture, you can go back and you can rewatch and follow all of the steps that corner, and you type in where it says find your local retailer. You can type in your zip code and all your local retailers will pop up in your local area. If you do not have a local retailer, you can order all of the items that I'm showing you today and it will be drop shipped straight to your house. Thanks for watching today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And if you have, like I said, any other paint related questions, drop them in the comment section below and I'll answer any of the ones that you do have. Hello, Michelle from North Carolina. Hi, neighbor. Now I'm going to go through the rundown of what we did with this piece of furniture again, just in case those that missed it. I'd be more happy to show you. Okay, so we used the wildflower stencil. That was the, and we used them right here, and then we hand painted them on there to give it more of like a watercolor look because the silkscreen stencil was want to go really heavy on it, so I just wanted it to really soft and pretty. So that was just our option. We just kind of hand painted in some lines and blurred it out a little bit and filled it in like a coloring book. And then we used Leave Me Alone. So that came out really good. I'm really excited about that. The color we used for the oranges, Cottage Door, and then that green was the Arcadia for the leaves. All right, and then today like I said, we'll be talking all things top coat, and I will tell you why I decided to go with those. My go-to product that I like to use is Dixie Belle Satin Clear Coat. If you're of a glossier finish, you can use their high gloss. If you want more of a durable finish, use their Gator Hide, and if you want a matte finish, you can use matte, and if you want, you can use the clear wax on this as well, and it'll come out absolutely beautiful and have a very soft feel to it. Now, a reason why I chose satin clear going into a teenage girl's room, and I want to give it a little bit of sheen, not too much. So I'm just gonna cut this guy open. My scissors have seen better days. It won't work out so well. All right, Michelle, good morning. I hope you're having a today. I am excited to be here. All right, so I'm just going to take this lid off, and I kind of will it like this so that I can loosen up what's underneath it. And then when I pop these off, they little one of these so you don't have to peel 600 times to get it off. That's not very fun. All right, we're gonna move you in closer. And I want to talk about scrubby soap for a minute because after I will be done with my product application, I'll be using this. Sometimes top coat can be really hard on your brushes, top coat and primer in general, but I always go through and use my scrubby soap and make sure that I clean it really well with that, and plus it smells so good. For your nails, like if I get product on my nails, I definitely scrub it, especially stain or something that I get like in my nails. I just will give a really good once over on my nails. Also, I got stain on my son's shirt really well. It removed oil-based stain from my son's fire shirt that he was wearing. So that worked out really, really well. And then he was not mad that he got stain all over his shirt because he didn't listen to me and put on a shirt you're not going to care about because you might get something on it. But definitely scrubby soap saved the day. You can go onto there on Dixie Belle and you can find that there as well. So let's go ahead and get to it. What do you guys say? We are going to do the body of this piece of furniture and we're gonna go do the top last, and I'll show you how I do my tops. I do my tops different than I do the rest of the piece of furniture. Larger, broader surface, and again, I'm only going to probably be doing one coat of this. It's kind of humid here right now. I'm not gonna be able to do a second coat. on the body top, and a lot of the times people ask me about gator hide. You can put one coat of satin clear coat and then go over it with the gator hide. If problems applying that, good morning, Cindy. That will definitely help the application process. Wax is easy. You can just go ahead and get you the best staying wax brush. You just kind of swirl it on, buff it off. You can use the applicator pads. You can use however you want to get the wax on. I like to apply it with an applicator pad for myself because I'm kind of like buffing it on and off. I do that with the stain as well. And then of course the very handy dandy artisan brushes that they have also work really well, and they work well to open up drawers. So there is that. If you have any questions about those products, please ask away and I'll be more than happy to help you with those. So let's get on to top coat, right? That's why we're here. Very carefully, I'm not gonna do that. Let's do this. All right, so this is one of those drawers that you kind of have to pull a little harder than you'd like to get it out. This is the hardware that it came with, and that's the hardware we'll be putting back on it. Okay? And let's go ahead. And we're gonna do our top coat right here on our drawer. Hopefully you guys can see that straight down. All right, let me grab my top coat back. I like to mist my brushes, even if I am using top coat. Just a little clear water, spray it on, and then I like to just kind of work it in my brush to make sure that my brushes, see, like sometimes these little things will get stuck on your brush and then that will show up in your paint. So you just kind of want to make sure that there's nothing in there. Just kind of removes the debris. All right, and then of course, my favorite, my bag of rags, because we all know I'm going to make a mess at some point. So I'm going to grab at least one or two of those. And that way I can wipe my hands off or anything else I may need. Okay, pull up my sleeves. So for here, what I like to do is I like to, let me show you guys closer. I'll dip in, not a lot, but about that much. And it's kind of thick, right? It's kind of where I'm going for, kind of like porridgey looking. Not really, but we're gonna make sure that there's nothing on here. And I'm just gonna dab it on. And then smooth that out. And obviously I'll be needing a lot more than that. And then I'll just come back again with that same amount. Satin clear coat is very forgiving. You can put it on any which way you want, as long as you know that your finishing strokes are going to be nice and smooth with a very light touch. You don't want to mash your brush down, and you don't want to add too much product because it'll drip, it'll get goopy. I like to cross hatch my top coat just so that I can make sure that I've covered all of the area. And whatever I've missed, I'll catch on the next two coats that I'll be adding. All right, and so it will not stay this shiny, but there's that nice little sheen on it. It will have a good bit of sheen, but the satin is more of a satin finish, so it's softer than it's going to be anywhere else. Now, I'm gonna raise, I don't think I can. It's not gonna fit on there. Okay, I was gonna raise her up and put her on something, but I don't want to lift her. So I'm just going to, I'm gonna sit on the floor and drop you guys down. Hold on one second, guys. Try to think of the best way to do this, and then we'll do the top last. I haven't sat on the floor in a long time. All right, here we are. I feel like a little kid. Crisscross applesauce. All right, we're gonna drop you down. And you guys can see. All right. Again, when we're top coating, we'll do this part first. I'm gonna put my top coat on the floor so I'm not risking spilling it. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna dip in and get about that much on. I'm not heavily saturating that brush at all. I'm not even going past the white part of that brush at all right? I like to offload a little bit and then come on down. Like I said, one way and then nice finishing touch. Again, about that much. Down. About that much again. The reason I like to offload it a little bit on my piece is just so that it's not going to goop or drip onto one side. I try to be super mindful of that. Product goes along. As you can see, I'm not using very much of it. Okay? And now, about that much again. We're just going to do the legs. Grab your edges just to make sure you didn't drip anywhere. All right, so that's one side, and it goes pretty quick. Definitely does go pretty fast. And then for sides that have like these little things, you want to be careful not to get it built up a lot into the corners because it will drip down. You'll get these drip marks. You'll have to get a razor blade and kind of cut them back or sand them back off. And it's just be really mindful of that. It's way easier to fix it, and it's also less is more. I'd rather use less product and have to add more product than have to remove product. It's way easier to do it that way. So again, I'm just going to do the same thing, kind of offload my brush a little bit. Just spread that product around. Not that much again, kind of do it in the middle. All right, now for this part, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my brush, dab a little bit in, and we're just gonna dab here, kind of come up in those corners, run that product out, do the same thing, dab up in those corners, and thin your product out. Okay, I'm gonna start here, get in that corner, and feather your product out. In that corner. Kind of make sure. Again, if I've missed any areas, that's fine. We're going to go back and add another coat. Come right about here, start in the middle. Just kind of work your way out. It's the same with paint. You know, you just want to come up under. Very soft, even strokes. Okay? We're going to do this side, same way. Dab, dab, dab. Edges. Grab your edge just to make sure. Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. My watch just told me good job. It thinks I'm washing my hands. So, good job. Apparently painting is the same action that mimics washing your hands. That's so funny. Okay, so it's goop right there. I'm just gonna kind of pounce that out. Wax will give you a softer touch feeling if you're into that. I do like to wax. But again, I chose for a more durable finish. Since teenagers are hard on everything, I'm sure if I could ceramic coat this thing for her, it still wouldn't be enough. Very gentle. Under. No matter how much you think you've gotten under there, you've always missed a spot. Okay. Side, tip it up. Just a smidge. All right. Nice. Finishing strokes. Again, very little product. Make sure that you haven't dripped it over on that side. Come up under. If you feel like there's too much product on your brush, you can offload some of it on your rag. That will help spread that out. If you feel like your brush is getting too dry and the product is starting to dry on the bristles, a lot of the times you can wet right here. So that keeps it nice and damp. Why I like my brushes to be damp so the product doesn't dry on there, because it's going to dry up higher where you're not using it. Not that much. Just make sure your product is evenly dispersed on your piece of furniture. Like so. Now we're gonna do the top, okay? And I'm gonna show you how I do that. I'm gonna raise you guys back up because I this part, so bear with me for just a moment. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate that. Yeah, this came out really pretty. I'm very impressed how she came out. Definitely a fun little piece of furniture. Enough. Just a little bit more. Okay. Now I'm going to turn her back. And I'm just going to mist. When I'm doing a top, I like to just do a very light mist over it. Very light, not heavy, a very soft mist. And then I'm gonna come in. Now you know how very little product we use. We're gonna use a good amount, okay? Come behind it as far as it will stretch. Okay, I'm gonna come back just again. Just stretching that product out. And if you tilt your head, you can see where you've gotten product on, where you've missed, where it's thicker, where it's thinner. Okay, obviously this is kind of haphazard, that's fine. Now watch, when we're done, and take your brush, very lightly, very, very lightly, just back and forth. Thinning that out. Okay, now we're gonna come across our edges. Make sure there's no drip. Okay, I'm gonna go the other way. You can tilt your head, make sure you didn't miss anything. Okay, now we're gonna grab the edges of this, and how I like to do that, I'm not adding any more product. I'm just brushing upwards. Again, coat one, we're gonna be doing this all the way around our piece of furniture. And I'm gonna look at it and make sure that everything is good. Tilt my head again, do a good walk around, make sure nothing's dripped. And she looks good. That's it. That's all that takes. It's not that hard. Okay. And then this is still, that's about what it's gonna look like. See how it went from super shiny? You're gonna have just that satin finish. It's gonna give you about just that little bit of shimmer on top of it. Not really shimmer, but shine, I guess is the right word. I'm gonna let this dry. It is very humid in my shop, so I'm not gonna touch this piece of furniture again and probably till tomorrow. And then I'm gonna add a second coat and then wait a whole nother day. And then I'll do another third coat on top. My client is getting a piece of glass cut for this piece of furniture, so I don't really have to go above and beyond for the whole top to make sure that it's not like absolutely teenage proof. When you're done, spray your brush a little bit, all right? Until you can get it to water. That'll help your product not dry out on your brush, and your brush won't be sad, okay? So that is how we got a beautiful finish with satin clear coat on top of our piece of furniture, okay? That's coat one. Coat two, we're gonna do the same exact process. Coat three, you're just gonna go on the top or just kind of go over really lightly. So coats one and two are definitely imperative. Coat three, we're just kind of doing touch-up stuff to make sure everything's okay, and then a full third coat on top. And I'll probably use gator hide on top of that. So 2 coats of satin, 1 coat of gator hide, only on the top. I will not be using gator hide on the rest of this piece of furniture because you don't really need to. No one's putting cups or stuff on that. Again, my client will have glass on top of here, but I just want to make sure that it's still gonna have a good finish in case the glass gets broken or anything else. The brush that we used today was our Flat Large by Dixie Belle for top coat. And again, we use the satin clear coat. If you have any questions, pop them down below and I will be glad to answer them. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I greatly appreciate today's short live. Next week, we will be doing a really fun piece of furniture. So stay tuned, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I will catch you guys later. Dixie Belle, thank you for having me. And if you don't already, I'd be honored if you followed me on social media, NTS Design Co. Bye, you guys. Have a great day.